A New Jersey housewife's Hail Mary guilty plea. Hello, everyone. I'm Kevin Frazier.
And I'm Thea Andrews. Welcome to The Insider. So, Dancing with the Stars has a new cast. Meanwhile, Teresa Giudice and her husband Joe are dancing as fast as they can.
While today's plea deal shocked some, we weren't surprised. Behind the scenes, helping to navigate these dicey legal waters is Wendy Feldman, a real-life Olivia Pope. She's a fixer, Teresa and Joe's fixer. Now, I happened to see Teresa and Wendy together at a restaurant while I was covering the Super Bowl in New York last month. And from there, began to get an insider's perspective into their high-stakes plan to avoid prison.
Teresa, Joe, are you afraid of losing the kids if you go to prison?
The reality stars ignored reporters today outside a Newark court and entered a guilty plea inside.
Mr. Giudice pled guilty to 5 counts. Mrs. Giudice pled guilty to 4 counts of violating federal law.
The big question, are Teresa and Joe heading to prison?
It's really up to the judge now.
We're breaking down today's plea with 2 experts, trial watcher and attorney Vicki Ziegler, who has been closely following the case, and Wendy Feldman, who is working as a legal crisis manager for the couple.
I just talked to Teresa and Joe, and the thing is, they're actually in as good a spirits as you can be in. They're a very strong couple.
Teresa, what do you think about jail time?
It appears under the federal sentencing guidelines that Teresa may get up to 27 months in prison and Joe up to 46 months in prison.
In this type of case, probation is absolutely an option. There are other options also. House arrest, halfway house.
The table-flipping reality star and her husband were charged last year in a 41-count indictment, including bank fraud, bankruptcy fraud, and not filing federal tax returns.
You're facing a potential 50 years in prison.
The couple last year on Bravo's Watch What Happens Live.
It feels like a dream, and I have to be strong, for my husband, for my children.
If the couple does serve time, who will care for their children, who are often seen on The Real Housewives of New Jersey?
Do you think about, in the back of your mind, who you would want to care for them if you're not able to?
I'm not really thinking about that right now. I'm just focusing on my family, focusing on being a wife, a mom to my 4 beautiful daughters.
There's also a lot of money that's probably going to be owed to the government in restitution fees and fines, and she may have to continue to work to actually pay these fees, especially if Joe goes to prison and she doesn't.
It's kind of America's little secret, how the federal system works. What will happen and what I do is I get them ready, along with their lawyers, for probation interviews, for reports about their background, and really to see what is fair to them and fair to society. Ultimately, a judge has the discretion on.
And Teresa and Joe are getting support today on Twitter. Yahoo's Celebrity Heat Index says comments about them in the last 24 hours are 59% positive. As Wendy mentioned, both Teresa and Joe are, in a sense, paying a price for their celebrity. It's very different from what we've heard in the past. Time and again, while they've been going through their legal battle, we have seen this couple doing extravagant things, flaunting their lifestyle, which is the character they play on the show. They got caught up in that. They literally were trying to live up to the hype of reality show characters and the pressure that comes along with that. And we see this all the time.
Listen, fake it until you make it might be the MO of reality stars these days. But if you wind up in jail, then you have taken it too far. You know what I mean? That there's a little bit too much fake in your reality. So
I hear you.
We will find out if Teresa and Joe wind up behind bars. Their next court date is July the 8th.
But I will say this, she's not the woman that you see on TV. It even surprised me. She is a quiet, very normal woman.
Well, obviously, she is responsible for her own destiny in this case. When you get to criminal activity, I mean, there's just no excuse for that, right?
I hear you.